Maybe you may be qualifying for that, yet you are at the normal standard tax, you don't know. So if you discuss and you tell us all those things, then it puts us in a better position to help you. You go to a doctor, you lie about your symptoms, you get the wrong medication, and you are expecting results. So it's not the doctor's problem. Tell the doctor, the consultant, as much as is possible so that it helps them to then come up with a better solution. That then maximizes the business efficiency and also the payroll, like I've said earlier, the bookkeeping, the financial analysis. As the businesses grow, many times when you start a business, many people don't matter much about the financial analysis, but yet it is the sort of like the backbone, because it forecasts to tell you where you are going. Because sometimes as the business grows, you need to be planning to say, I'm targeting where there's a vision. Where there is no vision, like the Bible says, people perish. And the vision is in forecasting, planning ahead, rather than being there and finding yourself in a hole. So it helps us that we plan ahead, maybe the cash flows for paying the taxes. You plan them to see, maybe my low period is this period. How then can I bridge the gap? Maybe can I get a loan, a short-term loan that can cover the gap? Then when my profits come or my monies come, then I pay it off. Everything. That's the planning, which can be done well ahead of time, rather than when you find yourself in a hole. So all that we do help. Who are we dealing with, and who do we want to court so that they come and we assist each other? Business owners, like I've said, small, medium, even big businesses, we can do, because the concepts are just the same. Just like a doctor at a surgery is the same doctor at a hospital, is the same doctor at a clinic. So it just depends with what you have, so that we can help. Self-employment, there are people with self-employment who think they should not be paying taxes, but they are not doing anything. They then find themselves, when HMRC writes them a letter to say, we think you owe us, and we think, and they also estimate maybe the tax you owe them, so that you come now to say, given from what we are seeing, you may be owing us 100,000 because you have not done anything. And they are giving the burden of proof on you now, because you have not done what you were supposed to do earlier. So what they are doing is just they are giving you the work to then prove to them, come with the accounts, maybe you are not doing them. Show us that you don't owe that amount. So we are there to help, so that whenever you are having even a small business, consult with us. Sometimes it may not be so big that it can be generating incomes which are taxable, but it's better to consult rather than to find yourself in a hole. Common pain points, these ones we know, and that's why we feel that HMRC is a lion, is always roaring on us, overpaying tax. We think we are overpaying. My tax, I don't understand it. How are they calculating it, and everything. However, through these consultations and engaging us, some of these things can be explained, because there will be people like us and we communicate with them as and when need arises. HMRC penalties, they also penalize if you miss their deadlines, and if you don't do your part in being a responsible citizen, paying tax when you're supposed to be paying. Poor records and bookkeeping. This all will be a problem if then HMRC needs to know some things about your business and you don't have proof. And maybe it's in the past 2-3 years. Remember, HMRC sometimes goes back. They are allowed at law to say, maybe the past year we feel that we undertaxed you. They can go there. So record keeping is important, so that even if you go there, your records are there, and then we can prove. So we move on to corporation tax. So corporation tax, this is the tax for the business now. In my dealing with many individuals in their companies, they fail to separate themselves with their companies. Clients will call us complaining, my tax, I paid Sometimes they've paid self-assessment, like business owners. As a business owner, the sort of like equivalent to PAYE the business owner pays is self-assessment tax. Because sometimes they are not paying the PAYE, so they are self-assessed as an individual themselves. So it's the same year like the PAYE. March was the year end. April, 6 April, we are starting a new year for individuals. So a business owner has his business. He's paying tax for the business, and it's the same person. Because you are the business, you are also the individual. However, tax recognizes those two to be different. So the self-assessment, the individual tax, is what you have benefited as a business owner from your business. Because sometimes the business has profits and you are also taking some money from there. That money which you are taking from the business, it's not the business which is taking it, it's yourself. So you have paid your self-assessment tax, and then corporation tax, you're saying, I've paid lots of tax, I'm paying them lots. You guys, you don't know what you are doing. But it's separation now of entities. A business is a legal entity on its own. Yourself, you are also another. However, there is a relationship. But it doesn't mean those two are the same. So corporation tax we are speaking about here is not this individual taxes. This is for the business. So we should never try to think when you have paid corporation tax, therefore you are exempt from individual tax. So this corporation tax is for companies. Most people here in the UK, it's easy to register a company. Some do not want to use us. However, we also do those services to register people. For companies, we do it for people. They register themselves alone, and then they forget that they've registered the company. The deadline comes, and they receive. Sometimes it has passed. Usually, HMRC and companies also start to write after. Or sometimes they send reminders. And you are a person, sometimes you have opted for letters or emails, but you see them, you don't really understand, or you say, it's just one of those things, you pack it there. The time comes, it's coming with stronger words now to say it's now plus penalty. What have I done? This business has been lying idle. You can even a dormant company. It's allowed. But it has to be put as a dormant company so that you don't have to be doing filing for the taxes and everything. So many people just open their companies and it's assumed it's starting to work as if the day you have opened it. And you yourself, you know that it's dormant. You maybe want to use it in the 3 years to come. But you have not told anyone that. It's within you. And the HMRC writes a letter to say, we haven't seen your return. The problem starts. So it's not their problem, but it's you have done something, you don't know the repercussions or the obligations which come with what you have done to start a company. There are obligations. So we help, we explain to our clients whenever we open the companies, and we also, every now and again, when the due dates are coming, the deadlines are coming, we remind our clients to say, please be sure. And we push them to say, give me the following documents or details I need to start and work on your affairs so that we be filing on time. And if we do these things on time, it becomes you then forget that you have a burden which is HMRC, because everything will be done according to time. So these corporations for limited companies, foreign company, the branch or office overseas, UK, clubs, cooperative, wherever maybe we are generating income. Because tax is not on the revenue. Tax is on the profit for companies. Yes?
Can I ask a question? If you've got, say, a business that you are doing, say, in Zimbabwe or in an African country somewhere, and you're receiving income and you take the money here, where are you supposed to pay the tax on that?
So there comes the legal aspects of double taxation agreements, I think, with the country and how, if you are to be exempt, maybe if the government of UK has got agreements with certain governments, There are things like that where it needs then to be looked into, how that money, whether it has been taxed, where it has come from, and how it sits rightfully here in the UK, and maybe for what purposes, and whether it's not for money laundering purposes. Many things then come into play, because it's not just people sometimes want to bring in money which are crossing the countries. So many aspects then come to play to check whether it's real money, it's not associated with terrorism, and as accountants we have obligations also to report if we feel or we see some, because we then become liable. That's exactly the point I was saying. We need to know everything. When we are dealing with a client, they need to tell us just as it is, so that we plan properly from the very onset and we do not have those shocks. Because your bank account maybe, which is receiving those monies, will flag to the financial authorities to say you are receiving maybe money or lots of money and you're not paying taxes for them. They may think maybe you are getting that money because you invested maybe from the money you got here. You invested, so you took out money, you made an investment. So the origin of that money may be here because of how you have done it.
And if it is here, then do they want the tax to be paid here then? Is the origin of the money of the investment, which is like most people really, isn't it? You save money, then you invest back home.
But if the money that is coming back is the capital that you send, there will be no tax on the capital.
On the capital, okay.
So it's just then saying, I sent so much, £5,000, it has come back as £6,000. The tax should only really be on the 1,000. But if that transaction is not clear, then they could be asking you to pay tax on the full 6,000 because they can't see that part of it is just returning.
Your capital, okay.
So that's exactly a perfect example of what people then do quietly. Then they just give you things to say do, but you don't even know that maybe they did A, B, C. So you are doing as if you are doing something which is happening here, but it's affecting many jurisdictions.